This is our dual credit teacher, Coach K, our high school secretary, Callie, Haley Mack, Emily Joe, and Jane Galvan, who are Imagine a world without the majestic roar of a Bengal tiger echoing through the dense forest, or the graceful dance of a humpback whale beneath the vast ocean waves. Envision a planet where the vibrant colors of a coral reef have faded into a monochrome existence. This haunting scenario is not a distant dystopian future, it's a harsh reality we face today. As we gather here, surrounded by the wonders of nature, it's essential to recognize the pressing need for action to preserve our planet's biodiversity. Today, I urge you to the call of support to the World Wildlife Foundation. The purpose of my speech is to convince each one of you to contribute to the World Wildlife Foundation, an organization at the forefront of the battle to protect our planet's endangered species and threatened ecosystems. By the end of our time together, I hope to inspire you to take an active role in preserving the diverse life on Earth. I am credible to speak on this topic because of the research I have done and the fact that I am very passionate about the work this foundation does. First, I will discuss with you the needs this foundation strives to accomplish. Then I will describe the benefits of what would happen if we were successful in fulfilling these needs. Lastly, I will provide what would happen if we were to fail in fulfilling these needs. First, let's discuss the needs. Habitat conservation. According to the World Wildlife Fund's official website, habitat loss is one of the leading threats to wildlife worldwide. The destruction of natural habitats due to factors such as deforestation, urbanization, and climate change threatens the survival of countless species. The World Wildlife Fund works to preserve and restore habitats, ensuring the protection of diverse ecosystems. The Living Planet Report 2020 by the World Wildlife Foundation and the Zoological Society of London emphasizes the urgency of habitat conservation. The report highlights how declines in biodiversity are directly linked to the loss of natural habitats, underlining the need for comprehensive conservation efforts. Anti-poaching and wildlife crime prevention. The World Wildlife Foundation recognizes the menace of wildlife crime, including poaching and illegal trafficking, as a severe threat to endangered species. According to the WWF, the organization actively engages in anti-poaching efforts, collaborating with governments and local communities to combat illegal activities that endanger wildlife. The Global Assessment Report on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services by the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services highlights the impact of wildlife crime on biodiversity. The report stresses the importance of international cooperation and strong enforcement mechanisms to curb illegal activities threatening the survival of species. Sustainable practices and climate change mitigation. The WWF emphasizes the need for sustainable practices to address the broader challenges of climate change. According to WWF, the organization works towards promoting sustainable development, advocating for policies that mitigate climate change, and engaging with businesses to adopt environmentally responsible practices. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report underscores the interconnectedness of climate change and biodiversity loss. It highlights the role of conservation efforts in preserving ecosystems and, in turn, contributing to climate change mitigation. This emphasizes the importance of organizations like WWF in addressing these interconnected challenges. In response to the urgent needs identified by the World Wildlife Foundation, the proposed solution involves the establishment of comprehensive conservation programs focused on habitat preservation, anti-poaching measures, and sustainable practices. This solution addresses the critical issues of habitat loss, wildlife crime, and climate change by implementing targeted strategies. Through habitat conservation initiatives, we aim to protect the diverse ecosystems crucial for the survival of various species. Anti-poaching efforts will directly combat the illegal activities threatening wildlife, ensuring the protection of endangered species. Additionally, promoting sustainable practices contributes to mitigating climate change, fostering a harmonious coexistence between human activities and the natural environment. To volunteer, first you'll need to research the WWF and familiarize yourself with areas that you'd be interested in volunteering for. Contact WWF's volunteer coordinators. To do this, you can go to the volunteer section of their website, find a volunteer role you're interested in, and then find the coordinator's contact information on their website. Next, you will need to submit a volunteer application and attach any resumes or references you possess. Next, you will need to attend an orientation process that the World Wildlife Fund holds and complete the necessary training. Lastly, you will then engage in volunteer work and stay connected with the community by offering feedback and networking with other volunteers. What will happen if we do not volunteer? Without dedicated volunteers contributing to habitat conservation initiatives, natural habitats around the world would face accelerated degradation. The expected result would be a decline in the quality and quantity of habitats, leading to the loss of biodiversity and disruption of ecosystems. Then there would be an increase in wildlife crime. In the absence of volunteers engaged in anti-poaching efforts, the illegal wildlife trade would likely thrive. The consequences would be a surge in poaching activities, endangering the survival of threatened species and contributing to the further decline of already vulnerable populations. If we do not take action, we will face a loss in biodiversity. Without a dedicated volunteer force working to preserve habitats and protect wildlife, the consequences would include a significant loss of biodiversity. This loss would disrupt ecological balances, negatively impacting the health of our ecosystems and reduce the overall resilience of our planet. Then there would be an ecosystem collapse. The failure to take action through volunteering would lead to the fragmentation of ecosystems. This, in turn, could result in the collapse of ecological relationships, affecting not only wildlife, but also the communities and economies that depend on these ecosystems for sustenance and livelihoods. In summary, we've explored the urgent needs addressed by the World Wildlife Foundation, including habitat conservation, anti-poaching efforts, and the promotion of sustainable practices. These initiatives are crucial for preserving biodiversity, protecting endangered species, and mitigating the impacts of climate change. Our purpose today has been to underscore the significance of volunteering for the World Wildlife Foundation in the face of these pressing challenges. By actively participating in conservation efforts, we contribute to a sustainable and thriving future for our planet and its diverse ecosystems. If you'd like to volunteer, call 1-800-960-0993 or email them at this email address. Thank you.